This is a great institution, and that's why we wanted to be here today, because as Helen just said, we're dealing with 21st century issues, and privacy is a fundamental issue. It's a fundamental right of every single person. There was a great justice of the U.S. Supreme Court who lived 100 years ago, and he said that everyone is entitled to a zone of privacy. That was Louis Brandeis, and he wrote about privacy issues, one of the very first jurists to do that, and he couldn't possibly imagine the social network generation that we have more than a century after his time. But his writings about privacy are just as relevant today as they were back in his time. And so it is important that we develop the law to make sure we protect the privacy rights of each person. So when you go to get a job, or you interview for a job, it's off limits for your employer in the state of Illinois to be asking for your password for your Facebook account, or to ask other questions regarding information that might invade your privacy in a social network. That's what we're going to do today. And it took a lot of work by a lot of good people, including folks who are on the faculty of the law school and who are participating in our Internet Privacy Task Force. I want to thank them for their great work. It is important that we understand that even though we live in an information world, very fast-paced world where we can get information in split seconds, there's some information, if they belong to the person, that belongs just to the person. That's their choice. If they want to share it, that's their business. But privacy is a fundamental right. I believe that, and I think we need to fight for that. Indeed, in our Illinois Constitution, there is a right of privacy. Very, very few state constitutions have that right. We adopted it by referendum in 1970, and I think we need to enforce it.
And I have to tell you, this was kind of a fun bill to work on, because we pass a lot of bills in Springfield that many people, especially young people, don't feel really affect their lives or they can relate to personally. And this is one that people definitely relate to and understand. I know I got a lot of likes on my Facebook page when we talked about this bill. So it was fun to work on. It's also fun to work on a bill when you realize this is a bill that even 10 years ago we wouldn't have even imagined was needed or possible. And I think that speaks to the creativity, the ingenuity coming out of institutions like this as we all advance further and further into the digital age. So it was an interesting bill all the way around to work on. Obviously, the importance of privacy has been stressed over and over. The employer cannot even ask for a password, which means you can't feel intimidated into having to say yes or no. They cannot even ask. So I think this is a step in the right direction. But one final word I want to mention, as a mother, I feel a need to say this to all the young people here. Please remember, they can't ask for your password, but be discreet and be smart about what you put out there on the internet, because it is still out there and it can affect you. So while this affects employers, you have a responsibility for what you put out there, and you will suffer or enjoy the consequences of that based on your decision making.
Great to be here, and Governor, thank you for sharing the vision of the Senator and myself to come to age in Springfield and in Illinois to make a difference and to protect the rights of people and their privacy in Illinois, and to help lead the way in this country. I know our founding fathers had no idea that Facebook was going to be an issue, but many people say, well, what do you do in Springfield? Well, this bill right here protects not only the job seekers, but it also protects the employers, because employers, they are subject to fines and violations and litigation if they ask questions about a person's password. And so now this bill will protect employers, it will protect the prospective employees, and we could go about doing business and using taxpayers' dollars to create jobs and make sure that we do everything that we can to put more people to work and remove the barriers of trying to find work in Illinois. And I want to thank Senator Christine Redonio for championing it. And I really have a great relationship with the Senator Christine Redonio, and I enjoy working with a Republican like her in Springfield. And so thank you.
Very good.